Hi, Desiree here with Soulpath Astrology and this week's energy report and three-card tarot spread. I am your intuitive counselor here on the channel. If you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a space for personal development, for growth, for learning all these different ways of connecting to your own inner guidance system, attuning to that, and then having community and tools to build the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible from that inner guidance system. If you're returning, welcome back, my sweet and wonderful friends. It's always a joy to have you in this space, co-creating the energetic field that we're building here. Yeah, quick little down low on how the channel works in case you're not sure. I'm going to do the astro energy report. It's always important, I think, anyways, to get a feel for that. It sort of is the backdrop or spine for the energy that's moving forward into the following week as we move into for this week, the January 26th to February 2nd week. Then there is going to be a brief meditation followed by an opportunity to select from the three tarot cards that have been selected for this week randomly, magically. You can then choose one, two, or three. You can listen to all three of them, listen to them order, listen to them out of order, whatever it is that your own intuitive guidance leads you to. Then, and I always do encourage you to listen to the very end because there is a little downloaded nugget of love for you to take with into the following week. So, without further ado, let's jump into the astro weather. Yeah. Mm. We've got a lot going on this week, you guys. At first, I'm like, I think it's a pretty chill week. And then I started to actually look. I'm like, no, it's not a chill week. We have got yesterday, January 26th, which is actually today because I'm recording this today. Neptune moves into Aries. Oh my God, you guys. Neptune in Aries, this is going to be such a significant shift. It's going to be here for about 13 years. The last time it changed signs was in 2011. When these planets, the outer planets change signs, because it doesn't happen very often, it's often generational type things that are going on. They're huge shifts. These are momentous chapter changes. And this year, 2026, every last one of the outer planets changes signs and remains there for a length of time. And we're moving out of primarily earth and water into fire and air. So, where we've been really in something that maybe feels a bit sluggish, maybe it feels, I mean, we've had a lot of changes, but at the same time, it's like a lot's been going on, but there hasn't really felt like a lot of opportunity to move forward. You know, like I hear a lot of complaining and frustration out there in the world around people can see change that needs to happen, but they just can't seem to find a foothold on how to bring that forward. 2026 is the year where we start to really make some forward progress, and we're going to feel that fire and air. If you think about how those work together, it can get pretty intense, right? I mean, it can really get combustible war, which, I'm not attuning to that vibration here, but it's inflammatory. But I really want, if there's one thing I really want to anchor in this channel and in this reading in particular, it's about the incredible power that we have to create within ourselves stability, safety, structure, so that we can harness that combustible energy that's happening into really healthy forward momentum, fuel to move us towards the more beautiful worlds our heart know is possible. We actually have an incredible amount of power available in our capacity to attune to our own energy, to sink into our own deep center of gravity, to be inspired and impassioned and emboldened by our heart's dreams, by our body's deepest wisdom. The world is falling apart and collapsing and burning up because it needs to. I was speaking with my mom actually the other day about this, and I said, the metaphor that keeps coming to mind is labor. Like if you didn't know, if you had no idea what labor was, if you didn't know, especially as an outside party, but even as a mother, what the hell was going on, as soon as labor started to become active, once the water broke, once contractions were hitting, I mean, you would say that this was a calamity. This was a disaster. This was, oh my God, what is going on? The world is collapsing around us, especially if you were the baby and you had consciousness of that, but you didn't know that this was actually the catalyst for the next evolution, your next birth into a new life. We are globally in a mass contraction. We are in the thick of labor and delivery. And just like that metaphor, it is so important in that labor room and in the rise of the feminine wisdom arts to trust the body's deepest knowing and to be focused on the positive outcome. This isn't about sticking our head in the sand, but we can all agree, I would think, that in a labor room, in the delivery room, it's so important that the people there be excited, be invested in and focusing on mother and child's highest and best outcome. To be in the corner wringing their hands, going, "Oh, I hope nobody dies. Golly, I hope no one dies." Like, "Oh, it's look at the blood, look at the fluid." This isn't going to help, right? This is why having that positive outlook while still maintaining a degree of discernment and paying attention and wise decision making, because it's not either about just everything is awesome while mom's bleeding out all over the place. Like, we need to take in the information, but we can absolutely add to this birthing process that's happening our own guided, grounded, positive energy, our positive direction, our positive force. Your attention is so powerful. And Neptune, the planet that's moved into Aries now, it's been in Pisces. It's been in this dreamy, illusionary, very, I mean, it likes it there. That's Neptune energy, but it's in Aries, it's like a real call to action. It's real dreams, practical magic in a sense. And once Saturn joins in February, I can't remember the date. Oh, I think I wrote it down somewhere. It doesn't really matter. But in February, Mars or Saturn is going to join Neptune in Aries. And that's when we're really going to see, because Neptune dissolves boundaries. Saturn is the timekeeper. Saturn is the boundaries. We stand on the cusp of a very large shift and evolutionary opening. And the invitation that's going on with this is to really step into your heart. Neptune, spirituality. Be spirit led. How can you wake up in the morning and ask that you might be put in service to the greatest good? What are you doing to cultivate your intuition, your energy, your love, your connection to the divinity that you are sourced from? This whole process, we are now invigorating. It's like a descension. Spirituality has been like launched out into the ethers, and it's getting to come back into the grounded body, into manifest reality. This isn't about transcending the human experience. This is about elevating it. It's about welcoming in spirit, in form, and building a collective community together from this place. And it's real. Like, this isn't just a lovely little utopian fantasy. This is a real, I can feel this in the marrow of my bones as being a true thing. I'm so certain that those of us that are alive, and if you're watching this video in this milieu, that we chose this particular moment in time because we wanted to midwife in this new way of being human in the world. And this is a powerful week for that. Neptune in Aries, zero, this is the beginning. This is the other thing. The 0.0 degrees Aries is the world point. It's the beginning of the universe, as they say. So what we plant, what we intention right now, this is the fertile soil. What seeds are you putting into the fertile soil as we move forward? So there's that to think about. I also want to invite you. So last time that Neptune was in Aries was in 2011, or not in Aries, when Neptune was in its last sign in Pisces, was 2011. So we are now wrapped up. And I mean, it's not rigid, but we are wrapping up what was begun in 2011, around 2011. So I want to invite you into that. Think back, like what was going on? It was actually April 4th, 2011, when it changed signs, which is my birthday. And for me, this was such a crazy time when I rethink about that period. For me, it fell in my seventh house, and my relationships, which is the seventh house, have absolutely taken a massive, painful, and fruitful upgrade. Yours are going to, it's like what section you are just coming through and finishing up is going to be dependent on your rising sign, which is depending on your birth time. If you would like to know what that is and you want a reading, you can certainly find me. I'd love to deep dive and let you know. But now we're moving into the next sign. So, what is this area going to be that's coming online for the next 13 or so years, 13, 14 years? It's very exciting. It's very exciting to see what new stuff is going to go on. January 27th, the Mars is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. This is Pluto is the great revealer, and Mars is so fiery. And so this is a potent day. Okay, there's expect on a global scale that there's going to be some more revealing or more. I mean, we've already had so much revealing, secrets revealed, and power that's misappropriated and misdirected. And maybe personally, you'll feel this too, this Mars conjunct Pluto. Pluto awakens and is showing. It is such a gift right now. Each one of the personal planets has been pinging past Pluto as it enters into Aquarius. And so it's like this great revealing. Pluto is showing us our shadows. It's showing us where we've been stuck. It's showing us where, in this case, where Mars, maybe where your anger has either been repressed or misdirected, where your forward momentum, your Mars energy, where maybe it's been bent back on itself, or maybe it's been put in a wrong direction. The invitation on the 27th here is to reassess your forward energy, reassess your jet engine propulsion direction. And there's Aquarius is all about social change. It's about collective well-being. It's about global conditions. We are really entering into, and over the next couple of years, more and more and more recognizing that we share the water, we share the air, we share the soil, that we need to start looking at things from a collective level, and more people at a grassroots level are going to be coming together to create communities, to create a more sustainable, equitable, regenerative style of living. And this is just going to get louder and louder as a theme, but it's certainly a headline this week. And January 30th to 31st, the moon and Jupiter are conjunct in Cancer. This is so beautiful. This is just such a lovely energy to sort of like sprinkle hearts and kindness over what is a particularly friction-filled week. But this lovely moon are feelings, and Jupiter in Cancer is just blessing this transition. It's exactly like labor and delivery, but in a room, a delivery room that has candlelight, and it's like soothing music is playing, and there's a beautiful midwife or doula in there, and it's like that's the Jupiter in Cancer energy. The work at hand is a hell of a lot of work. It's life or death. I mean, this is the thing about birth. It is life or death. It's right on the cusp. There's a question often, every time, is everyone going to survive this? It is the most immense rite of passage. And as a species, we are in it. We are in it, but we're in this beautifully warm, loving womb space with Jupiter in Cancer. And then the moon taps it as it goes by. And this is just such a beautiful energy to be moving into the beginning of February with. So, yeah, this has been a pretty long rant on the Astros. I'll leave it there for now. I want to acknowledge, yes, we are in huge times. It's a birth time. This is no small feat. We have not arrived in this time and space to do something small, but it isn't impossible. In fact, the more that we can gather together, the more that we can remember to attune to our own center of gravity, to our own hearts, to exercise discernment and begin to collect people, to allow your own magnetic resonance to draw community, like-minded community, like resonating community closer. it will build on itself and become like a compounding interest, as it were, of love and connection and ideas and sustainability and capacity. So, yeah, okay, we'll leave that there. Let's jump into our meditation, where we're just going to, for a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, ground and center together and just arrive into a really beautiful space where we can then choose from our 3 cards. So, closing your eyes if that feels okay, or just softening them at the very least. I want to invite you to become aware of your breath. And we're not here to change it or alter it, just become aware of it. Befriend your breath. And while you're doing that, I invite you to notice your feet on the ground, the weight of your pelvis in the seat. Becoming aware of your physical self in this space. Softening between your eyes, allowing your shoulders to drop from your ears. If it feels supportive, taking in a big, deep breath. Pausing at the top and a long exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Deep inhale to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top for 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do one more of those. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. And incidentally, if you're ever feeling stressed out, that 4-2-6 breath pattern is so beautiful to bring you back into your body, particularly if you put your hands on your chest and belly or on your thighs. Right now, our somatic work is so important. Returning to our bodies, it's the simplest medicine. And it's just been huge for me, as so many of my own programs, my own habits of trying to pre-manage other people's expectations, trying to plan everything, trying to play chess with the universe. Coming back to my body, as soon as I notice that my tummy is tense, it's when I know that I'm overdoing it and I need to come back to my breath. And I want to invite in grace too. Maybe this will show up in our final little moment, but to welcome in the idea that you do not have to do this all by yourself. All you need to do right now is come home to your body. This is the only work right now in this moment. Your body holds the key. Your body holds the wisdom. Your body knows what the next best step is for you. And you don't need to be up here. You need to drop in here. Okay. So with that, let's grab this week's cards. Card 1, card 2, card 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Card 1, if this was your selection, this is what you've got. The 5 of Wands. A good old 5 of Wands. The Dick Swinging Contest card. Really what this one about, this is, this really speaks to how comparison is the thief of joy. And maybe others are comparing themselves to you. Maybe you're comparing yourself to others. If this was your card, it's a reminder to recognize your own unique beauty, your own unique gift set, your own unique approach, and that whatever is going on, conflict is not going to be the solution. And maybe you're finding yourself just surrounded by conflict. How can you find your center before engaging, before opening your mouth, before keyboard typing something? Can you arrive to your body and your breath and breathe into your belly and decide if what you thought you needed to say needs to be said? Maybe there's a lesson around proving your worth. Maybe the invitation here, this one's actually been huge for me this past week, is all the conditioning around the belief that you have to prove your worth. and all the little ways that we go about trying to do that. This is an invitation. We can start to put that down. We can start to recognize that it isn't necessary to prove our worth, that the more we can put down the stick, the more we can come to our center, the more we can remind ourselves of our own uniqueness, that we don't need to prove ourselves. We simply need to create the container and then show up within the container. Give your best within the container. Play with your boundaries. Like, what are your boundaries, and can you express them clearly? And then when people come into play within the scope of that container, it isn't your job to change the boundaries. It's simply your job to show up fully as yourself, fully landed, fully generous in spirit, and give your best. But it doesn't mean you have to bend your boundaries. I hope that landed with that one. Next, what did we get here? Card number 2. If this was your selection, this is what you got, the 2 of Wands. So this is about planning. This is a beautiful card for this time of year when we're right, we're right on the cusp of spring, really. I mean, it's not that far out. The 2 of Wands isn't the action card. The 1 was the idea. The 2 is now I'm going to start to plan it. Now I'm looking out over the world, and I'm seeing the potential that lies out there, and I want to start to build something. So this is the planning phase. If this is your card, this isn't the doing. It's okay if you're not doing. This is the long range planning. And there's also a quality of how valuable it is to acknowledge your blessings, to not be like, I'll be happy when. This is the thing about planning. We have to be mindful that we're not future tripping, and we're not trying to, well, things will be good when I finish this. Things will be good when I'm doing this. Can you align with and attune with the sensation of abundance and blessings right now? And from that place, do your planning. I say this all the time. And as my late grandma used to say, I may have repeated this, but or I may have said this before, but it bears repeating. And it was particularly funny because as she was beginning to go senile, she'd haul that out more and more, like she knew. She's always she had a dry sense of humor. Anyway, and I lost track what I was going to say about that. Oh, I'll be happy when. The planting seeds. If you want carrots, don't plant cucumber seeds. If what you want is to feel full and joyful and at ease, then the planning you need to do has to come from fullness and joy and at easeness. It can't come from fear and hustle and anxiety. Because if that's what you're planting, that's what you're going to harvest. So that's what bears repeating. It's late here. Can you tell? Yeah. 2 of Wands. I think we'll leave the 2 there. Last but not least, here we go. Card number 3, the Moon. This is about our intuition. And sometimes too, it's like, don't move yet because there's something you can't see. And maybe this actually ties into the second card. There's information you don't have yet. The light isn't quite clear. The moonlight's harder to see by than the sun. And this can also be an invitation to like close your eyes while you're doing this planning, while you're envisioning. Envision using your inner eye. This is particularly important right now when we look externally into the real world, which when we're talking about the news, how much of it is real anyway? And that's what this whole Neptune thing is probably going. We're going to be revealing more and more how little you can believe of what you see on a screen, and how important it is to actually get outside and look around your actual neighborhood and communicate with actual people. Because more and more, what you're seeing on your computer screen, what you're seeing on the TV screen, I mean, it hasn't been real for a long time, but it's like really not real. And it's so curated that it's basically almost impossible to believe what you're seeing. And that in order to really know what to do, we have to go within and trust our body and our intuition and our bones. And we need to take practices with this moon card to cultivate your inner guidance system, to spend time in the dark, as it were, and quite possibly literally, to resensitize yourself to your moonlight, to your inner eyes, to your own divinity, to your own spirit, your own intuition. Yeah, the moon card. We'll leave that one there for now. Do you want a reading of your own? Do you want a deep dive with these cards that are personal just to you? Because these are general readings. You know, they're going to land, but a personal reading, that gets to the heart of what matters to you. We can use it as a jumping off point for the most alive thing, the most crunchy thing, the most juicy thing that's on the top of your mind and in the depths of your heart. We can explore that together and do some planning and do some inner spelunking and do some clearing of what might be in the way, and also start paving the way for what's on the way. If that's something you want to do, you can find a link to my calendar below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. Okay, like, love, share these videos. Final nugget of love. Final nugget of love. Well, you know what? It's come home to your body, you guys. This week, make it a practice to come home to your body. Pause frequently and just check in. Ooh, how am I feeling? Where's my breath? Where are my legs right now? Notice where you might want to move to understand something so you don't have to feel it. Where you might be moving to intellectualize an emotion so that you don't have to physically feel it. This is a huge one for me. I'm a huge fan of intellectualizing and understanding what's going on, because when things feel like they're chaotic, I want to control them. And it's through understanding them that I believe I can control them. And there's this deep practice invitation right now of cultivating your capacity to hold space for the unknown, for your own fear, without moving to control it. Can you just arrive for your emotional experience? Fear, grief, anger, shame. These are ones that we've not really cultivated an enormous amount of capacity for, that we need to learn how to hold space for without getting controlling around them. And conversely, great awe and wonder and like fully express splendorous joy is another thing that we're, and sexuality over, like there's so many things that we need to learn how to hold capacity for its fullest expression in order to manage showing up for life in a way that is alive and real and not controlled and contrived. It's presence over performance. And that's really what we're being called into over the next couple of years. This week, I want to invite you into just beginning to really acquaint yourself with your body. This vessel is an absolute miracle that has beyond capacities to heal itself, to channel light, to be both a conduit in and out for light and for love, and for building and emanating and manifesting this beautiful expression of love through the self, through the body, and in between the space between each other. We have to familiarize ourselves with it. We have to come home to it. And that's what this invitation is. So may that find you in your heart. May you find the universe tingling in your bones. And may you find the greatest love that you have been looking for in your own eyes. Mwah. In the meantime, know that I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.